The sun is shining, the weather is sweet, yeah. I better get going, actually. I really am playing a game of Dodge the Sun here, aren't I? My god. I'm Batman.
I work hard each and every day. I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change.
Hello everyone, it's Lewis back here again with another video. I actually realised in the last video when I introduced myself that I forgot to mention my name. So yeah, my name's Lewis. Now that's out of the way, let's get into this video. So today I'm going to talk about the importance of having an emergency fund. This is the beginning of what I like to call people's financial foundation. All of the things that people don't tend to consider doing anywhere near as much as they should before beginning to think about the sexier stuff in the world of money, such as investing. In my opinion, financial independence should be treated like a house. And just like every house, it needs to be built on rock solid foundations. Otherwise, you'll soon realise that all you've built is just a house of cards that will come down tumbling pretty quickly, pretty soon. For instance, what's the point of investing your money in the stock market to get an average return of 7 to 10% per year when your credit card interest repayments are at 20%? This is where this series should come in handy and where everyone should begin on their journey to financial independence. So on your financial freedom journey, the very first thing that you should consider embarking on is building up an emergency or rainy day or doomsday or whatever you want to call it fund. This is a nest egg of cash tucked away somewhere safe that is only to be used for when life happens, instead of falling back on that credit card for your debt snowball to only grow larger. Why people use a credit card in this way is beyond me, but so many people do it and it really needs to stop. According to a really interesting article from the Money charity, which I'll provide a link to in the description down below, the average credit card debt per UK household was at £2,085 in October of 2021. This basically means that the average Brit can't cover a basic household emergency without getting themselves into more debt. Roof repairs after a storm, that we recently had, can't afford that. Your toilet backed up? Nope, can't cover that either. Broken down boiler? Better get the plastic out. But it doesn't have to be this way. Once you've built this fund, no longer will you have to consider using your credit card, or worse, those ridiculous payday loans adverts that you see on TV to cover an expense. It's time to break that cycle. Of course, personal finance is personal, so how much you will need and your level of comfort will completely depend on your personal circumstances, but a general rule of thumb is to calculate all of the following essential monthly outgoings and multiply how much it would cost to cover these for 3 to 6 months. That is your rent or your mortgage payments, your utility bills, which is your gas, electricity, water and council tax if you live in the UK, your food and clothes. Next is your internet and any essential insurances, such as your home, which is building and contents if you own your home, and just contents if you rent your home, life, car and pet if required. And lastly is your car. Of course, if you drive, other monthly essentials such as petrol, good luck with that one. Insurances and taxes will need to be covered, so make sure you add these into your calculations. Although clothes is one to keep a close eye on. Yes, it's essential to wear them, therefore replace them if needs be, but this doesn't mean it's essential for you to go and use your fund on a shopping spree at Selfridges. And you don't need me to tell you this either, but if you have kids, especially newborns, you'll know that this section of your budget can increase pretty quickly, but all needs to be considered in the fund. In the age of WFH, I do believe that internet is now an essential household monthly outgoing, but only if you rely on it for your work or any other source of income. However, if you're self-employed, for example, you might be a freelance photographer or a content creator, you might want to consider building up a little bit more, as your income isn't necessarily fixed and it can fluctuate quite a lot. I guess this also goes for people who work in sectors such as sales. In this scenario, some people even have up to a year's worth of expenses covered, which is absolutely fine. Look, if you would feel safer by doing this, then do it. There's no official rule for anyone here, it's just a blueprint. Now, it's going to take some time for you to build this and you might find it boring, but the peace of mind that having a fully stocked fund provides is game changing. You'll go from saying to your mechanic, I can't afford to fix that mate, just scrap the car, to, oh okay, no problem, do you take card or cash? And there's no need to get smart with it. You simply need to strip down life to the bare bones. If you lost your job tomorrow or an important contract, how much would you need to cover yourself for the above whilst looking for other means of income? Watching Netflix and Amazon Prime orders aren't essentials to live by and can easily be cut if needed. An important side note, if you're paying down debt, such as credit cards or a car loan, I would say at an absolute minimum, keep making you guessed it, minimum payments on these. If you're currently paying more than this, then that's great. But if you don't have an emergency fund yet covered, consider maybe taking a slight step back from the debt payments and putting all of your energy into building the fund first. But look, don't do that if it doesn't make sense to you, or if you make enough money to confidently do both at the same time. If you want to get out of debt first, then do that. Again, I'm not here to tell anyone to do any one thing in particular order. It's whatever makes sense to you and what makes you feel the most comfortable. So technically you can put your fund anywhere, but it's probably not the smartest idea to have 5 to 10k plus in cash laying under your bed. Instead, in my opinion, and where I actually keep mine, the best place to put your fund is in an instant access savings account, separate to that of your main bank account. This is because easy access accounts provide the best flexibility for your money, especially these days. If you ever need to withdraw from your fund, chances are you'll need that money pretty pronto to fix something. So having the ability to have it in your account the next day, or in even some circumstances the same day, is what's required here. Plus, if you have your fund in your main account or in a savings account which is tied to your main account, it could be way too tempting to spend that on something that you don't need. In my opinion, out of sight and out of mind is the best attitude to have here. Unfortunately, due to the pretty awfully low interest rates that cash provides these days, you won't make much on your fund, but that's not the point of it. You can still, however, make about 0.5% on average. Plus, if you saved it in this way, your fund is a great introduction to what is called compound interest, which is something that Albert Einstein famously once called the eighth wonder of the world. What is compound interest? I'll get into that in much more depth in later videos, but essentially it is the interest that you earn on savings or investments making you more interest. Say that you have your fund in an account that provides 0.5% interest. Not only does the principal amount that you deposit make 0.5%, but so does the interest generated from that principal. And do not, under any circumstance, again, in my opinion, invest your fund. As you should know, with investing, you could get back less than what you put in. So it makes absolutely zero sense to me to put the fund into stocks or ETFs or something else like this. If the stock market crashed tomorrow and you needed your money for a household emergency, you'd have lost more money than what you'd put in, and this may put you in a precarious situation. Plus, you may have to pay capital gains tax on the investments that you'd have to sell in order to pay for an emergency. It's a headache that's really not worth having. So here's a general guide to how your fund should and shouldn't be used. Right, so when you should use it. Number one, something in your house breaks. The boiler going kaput in the middle of January, your shower breaking halfway through shampooing your hair, your car breaking down on the way to work, your newborn baby going through clothes like an F1 driver goes through tires. These are the type of scenarios that your fund is designed to cover, and you shouldn't have a second thought using it when and not if they happen. Another one is if you lose your job or a client or anything else related to your income. Look, losing guaranteed income is the worst, but it's made even worse if you have literally nothing but a shiny plastic card with a juicy interest rate attached to it in your wallet to cover for your everyday expenses whilst trying to get back on your feet. Instead of genuinely considering moving back in with your parents, your fund can cover you until you get a new job. So when should you definitely not use your fund? Well, this is for Black Friday, Amazon Prime Day, or any other major sales period. Look, I don't care if the Samsung 4K Ultra HD TV, which is 50 inches, that you've had your eye on is 50% off. If you don't have the disposable income to purchase it, you can't afford it. This is about 80% talking to myself and 20% talking to you guys, but you get the point. Christmases and birthdays is another one. Look, they come around once a year, every single year, at the exact same time they did the last however many years. In the case of Christmas, literally thousands of years. So make sure that you have money saved from your disposable income throughout the year as necessary to go towards things like this, and of course do it within a budget. Don't worry, I'll cover budgeting a lot more very soon. And then anything else non-essential to life. If you lose your job, and honestly I hope that none of you do, it's worth considering cutting out the non-essentials until you get back on your feet. Using your fund to pay for your Netflix, Disney Plus and Spotify accounts is counterproductive, as well as it is paying for Deliveroo or Domino's every week. Worse still, that could set you back a month or two, as subscription services can easily eat into your fund. At the end of the day, there are services like YouTube, Spotify free, Freeview, and even the radio for your entertainment needs at no extra cost while you are job hunting. Currently, my emergency fund is with Tandem. Now, just for full disclosure, this content isn't sponsored, but I really like this account, so I will talk about it just for a second. So Tandem are an up-and-coming but very good savings account provider here in the UK. Not only do they provide some of the best interest rates for easy access savings accounts at the moment, but their accounts also provide initiatives for sustainable saving, which is an added bonus for your fund. Not only are you helping yourself, but you're also helping the planet. Currently, so you can get a full feel for what your fund might look like, I have £2,055 saved in my account, which covers me for 2 months. I'd like to have a full 6 months of expenses in there eventually, which is about £6,100 for me. However, I haven't yet recalculated the rise in council tax and energy bills for this year, so I'll likely have more in there by the time that I do that. At the time of recording, the Instant Access Saver provides an interest rate of 0.7% AER, which is variable, which is better than most out there at the moment. On top of this, having an account with Tandem supports their green lending initiatives, which helps to make UK homes more sustainable and environmentally friendly. They also support open banking, so you can easily deposit amounts from your main account into your savings account within seconds, and they're part of the Financial Services Compensation Scheme, which is the FSCS. That ensures that up to £85,000 of your money is fully protected. The bad here is that Tandem is an app-only banking service. Therefore, you're unable to pop into a branch to make any deposits or withdrawals and must own a smartphone, as there's no iPad app, and the desktop version of the site doesn't allow you to log in and manage your account. Also, the interest rate is variable, meaning that it can change. It can go up and down depending on the circumstances of the economy right now. This can be both a good or a bad thing. For example, most recently the Bank of England raised the base interest rate, which prompted Tandem to raise their interest rates recently. I used to have 0.5% on interest rate on this account, but now I've got that 0.77%, which is great. You may have heard of CHIP, but if not, they are a little bit different to the traditional savings accounts that most high street banks provide. It's another app-only service which automates your savings for you, so you don't have to control anything. This is great for someone who definitely wants to start building their fund, but doesn't want to have to do all of the work. CHIP's award-winning algorithm will scan all of your incoming and outgoings from your linked bank account and will put away an amount that you can afford to save each week into a dedicated savings goal, which is optional. That makes it pretty effortless for you to start building your fund. In terms of the savings goals, you can start them, but you don't have to have them. You can just have it saved into an account for you. It's not a problem. On top of CHIP doing all of the work for you, you can get much better rates of interest on your savings than most other accounts. They negotiate with banks such as Alica or Alisa, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, to bring you a better savings rate. So currently their partner savings account with Alica provides 0.7% interest, which is one of the best out there right now. The app is also continuously growing as they now provide some investing options with BlackRock, which is one of the world's biggest investment companies. Again, they are protected by the FSCS, so your money is safe. If all of this sounds good to you, I do have a referral link for CHIP in the description of this video down below. That currently gives both you and me £10 for new signups, so do check that out if you want to sign up for an account with them today. The automated sites, wow. It's been a long day. I've been recording, this is my second video that I've recorded today. It's been a long day. The automated savings algorithm cannot be turned off permanently, meaning if you want more control and be able to simply deposit lump sum amounts into your fund when you can, you're better off looking elsewhere. Additionally, you can only save a maximum of £5,000 into each savings goal that you create. So if you want to create a goal for the full 6 month plus fund, you'd more than likely have to split that into separate ones, which could get messy. But this is only optional. You don't have to set a goal, you can just have CHIP save into the account for you in the background. By putting all of your initial money saving energy into building up this fund to cover for all types of household emergencies or worse, unforeseen loss of a job, you'll be putting yourself in a much better position than the average UK adult already. And this is before you even begin to start thinking about investing. So with all that said, and before the sun completely takes over this video and my entire face, I really hope that you found some value in this video. If so, please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below what you thought about what I discussed here. If you're new to the channel, which I'm almost certain that you will be, it's only my second ever video, please do consider subscribing for more money related content in the future. And remember, until next time, every quid counts. See you soon.